can't even call your mom.
Slapped that dude so hard that he had a seizure when he was standing up.
Got him. Got him.
What?
Yeah, man.
Fuck?
The guy was always. He saved me, man. He saved me from that day because I couldn't take on everybody at that point, man. You know.
No, yeah, for sure. It's hard to fight.
And I guess
people.
they had, yeah. It's you're. If they want to make you a target, they will find you wherever you are, no matter where you go. There's always going to be that opportunity for somebody to hurt you.
So, what makes somebody that goes to prison become a target? Like, for the people that are watching that don't get that, you know, like how does it, who decides like, okay, that kid, we're going to get him just by the way they look or talk? Or is it like because they get money? Like, how do they pick that?
When people come into prison, man, a prisoner will evaluate another prisoner, especially a new prisoner, in under 3 minutes. You know, they'll see your demeanor. They'll see how you carry yourself. They'll push themselves on you to see, no matter what kind of way it is, however way they decide to see how weak you are, they will try to push themselves on you in any kind of way just to see if you'll just give an inch. And if you give an inch, you're going to have to deal with this fucking asshole all the time unless you take a fucking lock to his head or a bar of soap or you strangle that bitch to death until you go to confinement or whatever, you know? So yeah, it's just the way it is, man. That's how they evaluate you. And it's scary. You know, I used to look at inmates, you know, that would come in, and after a while swimming in them dark oceans, you start seeing the way the sharks see people. And you're like, man, yep, that guy right there, he's in for a hell of a time. That kid right there, he's crying. So alrighty, he's somebody's friend.
How many fights did you get in when you were in JIT camp, man?
Me, myself, too, but I was also involved with other fights involving associates, friends. I guess, you know, you make friends regardless of what people say. You get close to a certain group or certain people, and that's who you hang out with because that's your protection. That's your group. You know, that's your safe spot for a little bit.
So out of your time, man, in Bavard and in your sentence, you know, doing your prison time, what would you say was the hardest thing that you went through in there?
The regrets, the days of staring at, it's not as far as everything, as far as the way I took my life and the whole cosmic lapse of the circle, man. Whatever brings you to your circle and you wind up where you're at, and it could be the greatest thing in your life or it could be the worst thing in your life, you know. And some people say, well, how's it, you know, how do you do time in prison, man? You do it wisely. You go in there into a gladiator school and you act like a jit and you want to wild out and all that shit. Somebody's gonna fuck you up really bad, you know.
Yeah, bro. Every dog has its day, man. It don't matter who you are, what clique you're in, you can be touched, man. And a lot of people don't realize that. What gang would you say was rocking out, you know, that was, you know, moving shit on the compound? Like, who had the high numbers when you were there?
Shit, man. When I was there, blue dominated a lot. Red was very prevalent. The Mexicans were very strong too. You know, the Mexicans ran a lot of shit, but as far as any organization, everybody was doing their own shit. Everybody, you know, whether it's doing it with a guard or they're doing it through visitation, you know, or through the mail or however they're doing it, everybody's doing it, you know, and everybody's got a price, especially you, them guards. You guards, man, you were some dirty motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. Well, what was the dirtiest thing you seen like a guard do for an inmate or get paid to do?
Oh man, there's so many things, man. I can't speak really for conversations that I weren't there for, but for conversations that I've had personally with prison guards, they'll, you know, you get in with them, hook you up. It's a thin line to get with them because, you know, they will hook you up. Once you get in with them, they're going to hold all those privileges over your head, and they will make your life miserable if you cross or talk about the wrong shit. There was an officer that used to bring me into the station, and I used to sit there and bullshit while everybody else had to stay outside and fucking do whatever. And he got to talking to me about, okay, I heard you had a situation with guns and shit like that. And I said, yeah, maybe, I mean, he's like, well, I happen to be a gun collector, and I have people that, and he went on and on and on with this fucking thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's really cool, and I plugged into it just to let him feel like I had some kind of trust with the fucking guy. Fuck you, dude. I don't trust you, motherfucker, but just to satisfy his power trip, because that's what it is. People, the guards that work, they don't have anything in their life as far as fucking their own humanity. Their whole thing is power tripping, bro. Especially, now I don't want to get into that just yet, but when we're talking about officers being corrupt, man, it comes in so many ways. People are getting arrested. I've seen corrections officers get arrested right there on the compound because a snitch is a snitch and a cop is a cop. And you put them two together and they try to work with each other. Nobody can trust shit.
Yeah, bro. That's a double-edged sword right there, man. It's a lose-lose. So, all right, man, you're in Bavard. Yeah. You're watching all this crazy shit go down with the guards and the corruption. Well, what was the most violent thing that you saw, inmate on inmate, whether it be a lock and a sock, a box cutter? What was the most violent thing you saw?
I seen a kid get raped. I saw a guy. I saw a guy get fucking stabbed in the neck.
You saw another inmate raping another inmate in JIT camp?
Yeah. Because see, some of them jits there, dude, they play this thing called set games or baby dad or big daddy. Like they would lose shit. Like in a card game, they say, all right, you owe me 10 big daddies. And now, no matter what, you owe that man 10 big daddies. So he can say whatever he wants in front of the whole pod, right? It's on a joking term, but people take that shit seriously. So he would be like, whoever, let's just make up a name. Hey, Ken, he knows you owe him 10 big daddies. So he's going to say, whose dick are you going to suck tonight? And he'd have to say, yours, big daddy. Okay. Now that's a bad fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing to do.
It's about as worse as it gets, bro.
Yeah. And I talked to the kid. I said, listen, man, don't be playing the fucking sex games, bro. People are all ha laughing and shit.
That's nuts.
You're going to find yourself run up in, man. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't take me for the word, man. And so I just had to cut him loose, man. I couldn't do nothing for the dude. He was already in there for doing some really obscene shit to his parents. He murdered his fucking parents in their sleep and shit. And he kept on with the sex games. And well, he found a black guy that liked sex games too.
So that's the one that you saw get raped?
Yeah. And what they did was really fucked up. Because they took the kid to confinement, right? That's how fucked up this is now, right? They didn't take the guy that raped this kid. They didn't take him to confinement, okay? Because the kid was playing fucking sex games with him, right? The officers just picked his ass up and took him to confinement. Well, this obviously destroyed this poor kid, mentally. I think he was like 14.
Yeah, that fucked 14. Him up decent.
Yeah, he was wrecked after that, dude. There was no way he was going to make it after that. And he ended up killing himself, man. And they had to lock down the whole compound because there was a big fucking thing about it. The parents didn't know what happened, and the news people were trying to get on the compound, and they wouldn't let us watch TV or any shit like that. But yeah, that kid I'd never seen that kid again. That's probably one of the ugliest things that I remember seeing. I mean, there's all kinds of ugly in prison, and it's all chaos. It's all chaos. But there's just some shit that sticks with you, that you're like, man, That is just beyond fucked up, man. And the way that they handle shit, it's not just that. It's the abuse that goes on in there, man. Straight up abuse. I mean, literally inhumane shit. It all goes on behind doors, and nobody either gives a fuck, you know, or they just hide it so well. I mean, just, you know, like when I was talking about the power tripping, there's nothing worse on a compound than a big girl, a big ugly girl. That's a corrections officer. Yeah, and she just loves making men miserable.
Yeah, those are the worst, man.
Especially give a big girl authority.
Yeah, bro. Every camp I've been at has like 3 of those type officers, man. They're always at every prison I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell, man, they hate their life and they want you to hate your life too. So listen, man, it sounds like you've been through the shit at Brevard. I mean, I've always heard stories. I'm sure the people watching have heard stories about it. I definitely want to bring you back on because I want to get into, you know, some of the other things you saw while you were in there. And then I also want to find out what happened when you got released and how your life has been since that. If you've been back, just everything that you went through and how it affected you, because seeing that shit at a young age definitely has an effect on, you know, a young kid's mind that's still developing. So I appreciate you coming on the channel today, man. Do you have anyone you want to give a shout out to?
No, not really, man. You know, most people know me on Facebook. I got well over 1,600 followers and over 4,000 readers, man. So, you know, if you just want to say hi or whatever, hit me up on Facebook. I know a lot of people they're too good for Facebook anymore, but you know, it's still good. It's still a good place with the right community.
Yeah. All right. And if you guys want to go check him out on Facebook, man, just send me that link and I'll drop his link in the description of this video. We're going to have him on again to do a part 2, man. These JIT camps in Florida are freaking crazy. So there's a lot of good stories that come out of there. Obviously they're bad stories, and that's why they shut a lot of those camps down. But once again, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man. Oh no, I was just going to thank you, man, for getting back in contact with me. I saw your video and I thought, man, how what a bummer it was that, you know, the title had this certain particular prison in it, but it didn't have any, you know, info on it. And I want to thank you for letting me on your show. And you know, it'll be great to see you again whenever whenever we want to do another part.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We'll definitely do another part. And all right, so if you guys like this type of content, do me a favor, man, hit the like button and drop a comment. Have you guys ever been to JIT camp? Have you heard about the JIT camps? If you went to JIT camp, comment below and let me know what camp you went to. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is the kind of stuff I talk about on this channel. We spit that real shit on this channel. And with that, it's DOC TV, and we're out.